Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Spirits and Ghost Stories. I'm your host, Thomas Ahrens.
And Carly Bird.
We are back onto a schedule. Luckily, now we're all caught up. I am really looking forward to today's tale, everyone. Carly has put a bunch of time into this one this week, and I think it's going to show.
Yeah, it was my turn to do some research, and I found a doozy.
And I apologize for all my English speakers at home. We are drinking Purim Holiday. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Purim Holiday. It's a Jewish tradition. In Jewish tradition calls for cocktails. This aromatic, sweet and sour Purim cocktail was inspired by. I hate you so much for making me read this one. Inspired by Lemonian.
Good job, baby.
Lemonian.
No, the first time was great.
Lemonian.
Keep going.
The unofficial national drink of Israel. What the mix is, rum adds a tipsy kick to the lemon drink. It's a light, cool, and refreshing cocktail, perfect for a springtime Purim celebration.
Add some little natural mint in there. Just throw the mint in there. It's just delicious, like a lemonade mint drink, but you mix rum with it. So it makes it
we added
spicy
rum to this, lemon zest, and then we actually added some mint aromatics. You can buy this at any liquor store. Smash it up and then chill it, and it's really refreshing and probably not good because it's almost like it doesn't taste like gum necessarily, like not that type of sweetness, but like that weird like refreshing when you bite into a fresh piece of mint, but then it's like you get buzzed off of it. So it's good.
Yeah. Like sweet lemonade.
Yeah, so that's a really good pick for today.
Thank
So
you.
now that I've butchered the English pronunciation of that Purim Holiday, Carly, what story do you have for us today?
Well, my research has brought me to some history and basically a documentary about the most recent paranormal activity from this certain entity. So I just want to start with a question. What is the soul? Look for it and it can't be seen. Define it and it eludes description. And yet, for the ancients, the idea that life could exist without a soul was unimaginable. However, the Talmudic and Kabbalistic rabbis did not make a strict distinction between body and soul either. Unlike, for example, Plato, most Jewish thinkers had a notion of life energy that was quasi materialistic. The spiritual world and the material world were interwoven, and actions in one could directly affect the other, for better or for worse. That's when all goes right, of course. But what about when the life energies are misappropriated? What happens when something goes wrong?
Mm.
Demons and Dybbuks, golems and ghosts are all the same result and misspent life energy. They are part of a long history of Jewish speculation about Shiddim, which also means demons, a word used to refer to foreign gods, and demonic personalities such as Lilith. All right, buckle down and prepare yourself for the history and recent tale of the Dybbuk.
The Dybbuk. Oh, wow.
The Dybbuk is a Jewish folk tale of the ghosts or dislocated soul of a dead person, which then possesses a human living being. Derived from the Hebrew word for adhere or cling, this malevolent spirit is said to only depart from its hosts once it has achieved some sort of goal, allowing it to pass on. In Jewish folklore and popular belief, an evil spirit which cleaves to his soul, causes mental illness, talks through his mouth, and represents a separate and alien personality. It's also called a Dybbuk. This term appears neither in Talmudic literature nor in the Kabbalah, where this phenomenon is always called evil spirit.
This is also why, guys, we have her read most of this
Oh,
stuff.
this does not mean that I'm pronouncing it properly. I'm just pronouncing
you
it
are
with
faking it
confidence.
quite well, then.
Thank you. The term was introduced into literature only in the 17th century from the spoken language of German and Polish Jews. It is an abbreviation of Here we go. Dybbuk mi ruha raha, a cleavage of an evil spirit. Or Dybbuk from the outside, which is found in man. The act of attachment of the spirit to the body became the name of the spirit itself. However, the verb davok, which is Davok, means to cleave, is found throughout Kabbalistic literature where it denotes the relations between the evil spirit and the body, mit tebeket, bo. In other words, that means it cleaves itself to him. It
Hmm.
cleaves himself to him. So now you can share the photo that I sent you. Everyone can see what it looks like basically as you peer into the spiritual realm.
Oh wow, that does not do you any justice. Let me try that right
Oh,
there.
that's better. Yeah.
Better right there.
All right.
So it looks like a homeless man carrying a dead body,
That's true.
and he's naked.
Yeah. For some reason, my first impression when I saw that was of the Grim Reaper. I don't know why, because it would be the other way around, right? The skeleton would be carrying the human
Yeah.
being, not the human being carrying the skeleton.
So the
I'd
s-
say it's a portrayal of the person that's living is now cursed to carry
the
this
weight.
dead
Mm,
being
okay,
inside of them. So
gotcha.
that's what the person feels like
So it's kind of like the
being
movie series.
possessed.
It's kind of like the movie series Insidious, about
Yes.
how things that are part of the dead want to get over with the living, and
Yeah.
they need a host
And
body.
want to exactly and want to possess other things. So as I
This is old school.
what is the
The
Dybbuk?
shit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in stories that assume there is an afterlife where the wicked are punished, the Dybbuk will sometimes be described as a sinner who is seeking refuge from the punishments of the afterlife. A variation on this theme deals with a soul that has suffered, karet, Karet, which means that it has been cut off from God because of evil deeds the person did during their
Mhm.
life. Yet other tales portray Dybbuk's as spirits that have unfinished business among the living. Maybe a person died like in a traumatic accident or something and they didn't finish out what they were meant to do.
Yeah, that's intense.
Many stories about Dybbuk's maintain that because spirits are housed inside bodies, wandering spirits must possess a living thing. In some cases, this can be a blade of grass or an animal, though frequently a person is the Dybbuk's preferred choice. Obviously, the
Why would you
people
wanna take over a bunny rabbit
right,
or,
right. But how are you gonna achieve
a
anything
canary?
doing that? The killer bunny. The people most often portrayed as being susceptible to possession are women and those living in homes with neglected mezuzat? Oh shoot. I don't know what the mezuzat is. The stories interpret the neglected mezuzah as an indication that the people in the home are not very spiritual. I wonder if it means like a muggle. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like the Harry Potter's version of like spiritual world. So like Harry Potter, if you're not a wizard, you're a muggle, right? So if you don't believe in God or you're not religious, maybe you're a mezuzah. I don't know. I'll have to do some
I
research.
do really love though, and to our 3 fans that actually watch this show, she'll put this on an Instagram post eventually about what her findings are about the Mizuzo is. I just find it always interesting when we do these deep dives about how groups of people tell these stories and they pass it down, and it's always like, well, it's the women. So it's like the 2 things in there are, okay, women are susceptible to evil, and people that don't like the Lord, they're receptive to it too. And I would love to say Mizuzo just like not a clean house. That would be so fun to me.
Oh
So
my
it's like,
gosh, you're so close. A mezuzah is a piece of parchment called a klaf, Klaf, contained in a decorative case and inscribed with specific Hebrew verses from the Torah. These verses consist of the Jewish prayer Shema Yisrael, beginning with the phrase, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." That's what a mezuzah is.
remember that one thing we were listening to one time talks about truth and like different types of truth, like the idea like cultures back in the day didn't understand germ theory and stuff, but
Yes.
so they passed tales like you don't eat pork because the God doesn't allow it. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh well, because we didn't know how to cook it. So it's like how you protect people. So there's a little bit of truth there. And it's so interesting how these stories get passed down where it's like, oh, like if you're not a good Christian or not a good Jew
Mhm.
or Muslim or whatever, this is going to come for you.
Right.
And then, if women try to vote, this is going to come
Oh
for
my
you.
gosh.
Like, it's just crazy how like it's always consistent, this through line. We tell these stories to scare people in line.
Like if women are too smart, they must be possessed.
Yeah.
The Dybbuk must be inside of them. Or if they're too smart later on, of course, they must be witches.
Mm-hmm.
Burned at the stake.
Like, I was listening to something today while walking our dog, Jojo, about the Wendigo and Indian culture. And like, yeah, it's like you tell people this stuff to like keep them from like leaving the tribe or whatever, or like running away. So you create these stories. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. That all makes sense there. But yeah, sorry, continue.
That's all right. We're on to our next phase of my research on how to get rid of a Dybbuk, in case you all were wondering if you ever become possessed. So the way to do it
Throw
is
yourself off a bridge.
there's actually many different ways to exorcise a Dybbuk, as there are stories about them. The ultimate goal of an exorcism is to release the body of the possessed person and to release the Dybbuk from its wanderings. Obviously. In most stories, a pious man must perform the exorcism. Sometimes he will be assisted by a magid, a benefit, hold on, by a spirit or an angel. Okay. In some stories, the ritual must be performed in the presence of a minyan, which is a group of 10 Jewish adults, usually all male, or at a synagogue, or both. After the interview, the steps in exercising a Dybbuk vary greatly from story to story. According to author Howard Chages, a combination of adjunctions and various props are common. For instance, in one example, the exorcist may hold an empty flask and a white candle. He will then recite a formulaic adjuration commanding the spirit to reveal its name, if it hasn't done so already. A second adjuration commands the Dybbuk to leave the person and fill the flask, whereupon the flask will grow red. Ooh. A play interpretation of the famous Dybbuk by, here we go, S. Ansky, authored between 1913 and 1916. Apparently, this is a movie. This is a play. And it is a very, very famous play that, of course, I didn't know it existed because I'm not cultured. But it's considered by many to be the greatest Yiddish drama. After traveling between Jewish shelties, which is villages in Russia and Ukraine, playwright S. Ansky took what he had learned about Dybbuk folklore and wrote a play titled The Dybbuk. The play was eventually turned into a Yiddish language film in 1937 about Polish Jews before World War II, with some variations to the storyline. In the film, two men promise that their unborn children will marry. Years later, one father forgets his promise and betroths his daughter to the son of a wealthy man. Eventually, the friend's son comes along and falls in love with the daughter. When he learns that they can never marry, he invokes mystical forces that kill him, and his spirit becomes a Dybbuk that possesses the bride-to-be. I know.
Wait, what? So
Crazy convoluted.
he wants to marry her.
Yes.
And he gets killed.
Yes.
And so he possesses her body.
Yes. That's what I gathered
some really
from this definition.
adult,
I know.
very adult thoughts there, but
Oh
okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. This is a play written by somebody, and actually people act this whole play out on the regular, I guess. Or did anyway. So there are, like I said, multiple movies. You can watch this play on Amazon Prime, and it's in a different language. There's another movie out there called The Dybbuk that was released, I believe, 2019, I want to say. I could be wrong. I was shocked to see it was released so recent, but that's also in a different language. I don't know which language it is.
Why would
Sorry.
you take over her body, though? Not the person that killed you.
Well, because I don't know, the Dybbuk usually possesses women versus men. I don't know.
That's true.
Maybe she was just easier to enter. Ugh.
It's just crazy. I'm not going to go there.
I don't know.
It's before Easter. I'm gonna keep some
Sorry.
semblance of
Anyway,
gentlemanly.
speaking of movies and things out there, um,
Things going in and out.
he didn't. Speaking of movies and people filming themselves,
Wait, what? That's not good words there with Epstein
I'm
happening only a few
sorry,
years
but
ago.
this is literally what has been going on lately for the past 10 years. On the dark web, people have been finding Dybbuk boxes online, which is known to have a Dybbuk demon inside the box. People can pay hundreds of dollars for this box that sometimes looks like a little mini treasure chest, covered in like melted wax to seal the whole way around, or sometimes it looks like a little wine box holder. And on YouTube, there are so many videos of people getting this Dybbuk box and opening it up and then recording what happens throughout the house. And there's always some kind of paranormal activity.
That's creepy.
One of the craziest things is that they said when they open the box, it's a horrible stench. The boxes are almost always empty. If they have something inside of them, it's like a piece of paper or like something like that. But if they are empty and they open it up and they feel a rush of cold air, sometimes hot air, and this stench that just fills the room like something was dead.
Good Lord.
Okay, so the most recent Dybbuk box reveal that was recorded, there's now a documentary about it available on Amazon Prime by this guy called Chris Chambers. He opened this box on YouTube and posted the video of the things that happened to him for the next couple days, I think it is. But I'm going to go ahead and give you the walkthrough of what actually happens on that YouTube video. And then we're going to show you the trailer at the end of this and we'll wrap it up. So, in his 2019 documentary horror film, which is available to watch on Amazon Prime, Chris Chambers gets a hold of one of these Dybbuk boxes to test their validity himself. The 34-year-old from Texas got more than he bargained for, and the outcome was near fatal. The reason so many people make Dybbuk challenges videos is because people watch them. They work. With this film director, Joseph A. Mazzaferro, has created the same compelling content in what is essentially an extended YouTube video. The film is made up of footage which is said to have been released by Chris's parents and shows the filmmaker's attempts to document the opening of a Dybbuk box he found online. The paranormal activity he experiences becomes increasingly violent until it reaches to a point where Chris is forced to leave his home. Like the other documentaries of its genre, the film starts with an on-screen warning: the following footage is real. It strongly suggests that you do not attempt to conjure spirits, play with black magic, or invite dark entities into your life. The encounters contained in this documentary have been studied by industry professionals and proven to be accurate, recorded paranormal accounts. We then meet Chris, who is sat in front of his computer in his home office in January 2019, speaking into his camera in the style of a vlogger. Chris says, "I've been seeing the new thing on YouTube where people are getting this Dybbuk box and they basically open them live." He adds that some of these YouTubers are actually getting some pretty neat results. He also admits that some of the people are totally fake, and it is for that reason that he wants to give the challenge a go. He explains, "I kind of want to do my own investigation on this particular topic because it's something that I kind of believe in." He adds, "I think there's a possibility that this sort of stuff is real." Like many of the YouTubers who have experimented with Dybbuk boxes, Chris bought his from the dark web. A listing with the title "Extremely Haunted Dybbuk Box," all in caps. "Strong demonic spirit possessed." The item, which was listed for $250, came with that warning. "There are no such thing as ghosts or spirits, there are only demons. This item is not for the ill-willed and should never be opened by anyone. It is sealed shut and should remain as such for all eternity." That was what he got with his box. The description warned, "A Dybbuk will search for a living soul to latch itself onto and will never be able to die, even if attached to a host.
Oh, wow.
This will never be at peace." Ignoring the warnings, Chris paid for the item, and 2 weeks later, the mysterious package arrived. Chris first noticed foul smell coming from the box, which he described as rancid. Once he removed it from its packaging, Chris commented, "It's not that heavy. There's definitely something in it," as he rattled the contents around inside the box. Chris was instantly unsettled by the Dybbuk box. Speaking to the camera, he said, "The moment I pulled it out of the box, beyond the smell of this thing, there's a presence to it. It's like its own entity sitting here." Chris then began to conduct some paranormal experiments on the box first by using a ghost hunting device called an EMF meter. This gadget detects changes in the electromagnetic field around it. Some believe that these changes can be caused by paranormal entities. When the filmmaker put the meter near the box, it began to flash and beep wildly. It was clearly reacting to the box as it triggered when it was moved towards it and stopped when it moved away. An amazed Chris said, "It definitely seems to be picking up the box or something in it." He then switched to a device called a spirit box, which rapidly scans through the radio spectrum. The idea is that spirits can interfere with this and use the static to communicate in the form of audible words or sentences. A caption on screen tells us that Chris spent about an hour and a half asking questions like, "Is there a ghost in this box? Is there a spirit in this box? Can anyone hear me?" We only see the few seconds he got. When Chris called out, "Is there a demon in this box?" what he thought sounded like yes could be heard coming from the box. He also heard the word help. Speaking later, Chris said, "There were a couple of responses that freaked me out. I thought Chris was going to drag out the opening of the box for the full hour, but just 16 minutes into the film, he said, 'Okay, here it is.' The opening, and proceeds to open the box. As he cut the wax seal from outside the box, he said, 'Something is totally telling me not to do this.' But moments later, wearing latex gloves in case of a demonic transfer, he opens the box up, because that's going to save you. While opening the box, Chris had placed his EMF meter next to it, and before it was beeping due to its proximity to the box. But the second the box was open, the EMF meter stopped. Chris said there was a strange heat coming from the box and everything feels hot to the touch. He found a number of strange objects inside the Dybbuk box, but Chris soon realized that what was in the box was nothing compared to what he seemed to have let out. Just as he was wrapping up, the lamp next to him flickered.
Oh boy.
A shaken Chris said, "That's never happened before." The lamp then started to repeatedly flash, but this was tame compared to the activity he experienced over the next few days. From this point on, the movie is similar in style to that of the popular Paranormal Activity franchise. After Chris sets up a series of cameras around the house to keep tabs on the haunting, over the next few days, Chris has trouble sleeping and experiences everything from doors opening and closing on their own and electrical faults through to poltergeist-like activity. The supernatural happenings build slowly and are believable, but soon escalate to a terrifying climax towards the end of the film. Chris reveals that for the past few days he's been feeling really sick and has been suffering with constant headaches and daily vomiting. The activity eventually forces Chris to move out of his apartment, and after it became violent and life-threatening, a caption at the end of the film tells us that there has been no update on Chris's condition since the film was made.
Wow.
And that's all we have. I would love to watch that on Amazon Prime. Apparently, we can purchase it.
Yeah, we need to see that. That's
Literally happened like 2 years ago.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
So that's basically like the real life paranormal activity.
Yeah, straight up. Don't buy a box that's said to have demons on it.
Who sells
from
those?
the dark web? I don't know.
I like you said dark web because I think like Hasbro or like someone who makes like Monopoly.
If it's on the dark web, it's most likely real. That's all I have to say. If it's not on the dark web, like Amazon Prime, you're getting BS. It's a waste of money.
It's got dark web certification, so you know it's good.
Yes,
Stan,
exactly.
we need a new product to put to market here. They're just not buying this shit anymore.
Well, just add it on the dark web, Phil.
Yeah. What do you think? Monopoly? Nah.
Nah.
Dice? No.
Nah.
What about demons? I like it. It's new.
Ding ding, we have a winner.
Yep. Let's try that. And you get real demons in every box.
Let's
it's certified dark
go.
web, so you know it's good. That's kind of crazy. So did you want to watch this YouTube video?
Yeah, let's go ahead and end our episode with the trailer.
Okay, let's try it. Add this thing here. I want to make it actually
Let's see if the
kind
audio
of
will work.
small, which means we got to block you out.
That's okay.
That's fine right there.
I'm not important.
Let's go like, actually, I like this one more. It's way easier to edit that.
Is the audio working?
Interesting.
Is anyone else here with me?
What's making that noise?
It's the EMF.
What's in the EMF again?
It's the same thing I just read to you. The EMF picks up radioactivity from demons and ghosts.
Got it. Got it.
So start it over, and I'm gonna read the did you edit it out? Start over. I'm gonna read the beginning of it for people who are listening.
So now we are going to start the video called
It's the Dybbuk box opening with Chris Chambers. Okay, so the beginning of the video, for those that are just listening and not watching it, the video says, I ended up capturing some major activity.
Is anyone else here with me?
and so that noise is the EMF.
Yeah, that should be the EMF that's supposed to like pick up paranormal activity.
Can you hear me?
So I also want to climb that clearly, apparently he's not married
Oh, I know, obviously.
or has a
Look
girlfriend.
at his beautiful house.
He's very lonely, and I feel like he has a cat.
He's got nothing. He's definitely a YouTuber. Look, that's probably like he records in his living room.
But
Why does he have a cat?
he's got like a cat house. It's super clean. There's no dog there. 'cause-
There's definitely no dog.
because
Look,
if there was a dog, you would see him
he would not
somewhere.
have that white carpet.
Well, plus that, but then plus, I feel like we're like one of those travel shows. Like, oh my gosh, girlfriend, look at those pillows with that plant. No, but I just feel like I kind of like already know this guy already. You know what I mean? So anyway, continue.
I couldn't really make that out.
Make what out?
Listen. Stop pausing it.
Wait, did you hear something?
Yes.
I thought I heard something, but I'm not sure if I can make that one out. Is anybody else here with me?
Hell yeah, motherfucker!
Oh my gosh, just play it.
If I break it up, it actually helps so it doesn't get dinged.
Okay.
It's actually stopping it. It's good.
I just want to talk. Can you talk to me?
Listen, just broke up with my wife. I need a friend.
I need someone to talk
Please.
to. Can you talk to me?
Please.
Please. I paid $250
bad.
for this box
You wanna
that
know how
has
to-
no other option but to listen to me while I weep in my living room.
You want to know how depressed your life is when you can't even get a ghost to come out of a fucking Ouija board box?
It won't even answer. It's like, no.
Could you at least taunt me?
dude.
So I just want to talk to you. He's like, nah.
Not
nah.
even interested.
Your life is already bad. We don't.
It said, what do you want?
Now again, I'm gonna have to play all this stuff back, but that sounded like, what do you want?
How do you know it's not the
I just
EMF
wanna
thing?
talk.
About what?
Can we talk?
It said no.
I don't mean to disturb you. Is it okay if we talk? I'm pretty sure that just said, who are you? I'm Chris, and I just want to talk. Is that okay?
You're my box.
Okay, well, clearly
I'm
we know
Chris,
why your wife
you're my
or
box.
husband broke up with you because you're terrible at conversations. I just want to talk.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying I'm a great podcaster.
It's like
but
texting at 1 o'clock in the morning. You up?
Yeah.
Question mark.
Like, well, yeah, it's more like you're down to fuck. I don't think he's gonna fuck the box. But the point is, like, do you have a topic, dude? Like, I don't know. Like, none of us want to talk. It's like, hey, are you a ghost? Are you not? Where are you from? What's your where's your family tree?
Like, let's
Like,
ask
give
other
him some
questions
topics. Just, I
besides,
want to talk.
can we talk?
Yeah, because
I want to
if
talk.
he says, "Can we talk?" 4 more times, I know why he got haunted.
Yep.
Because this thing got annoyed with him.
Hell yeah.
I feel like this is a roast routine at this point, but yeah. If you don't,
Listen, if you don't want to talk,
there it is.
give me some sort of sign.
What do you want him to do? Curb stomp
It
your
already
fucking
said
head?
no.
Oh shit!
Did you notice the picture fell right after I asked it? Obviously, we noticed that, honey. His captions are horrible.
I love, yeah, did you notice the thing
Did you
that just
notice
happened?
that giant picture that was like, 2 feet by 3 feet fell?
Did you notice that my roof got ripped off the fucking house just a moment ago?
Did you notice I fell
Just
on my
talk.
ass?
Now watch the camera.
I left the camera recording all night in the living room. To save time, I'll speed through the clip and only show the activity.
So, like, okay, how much of it do you think there was the EMF like thing? Does it have like built-in things to say back to you? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I haven't really done any research.
like an Alexa, but for the paranormal. And so it has like key things to say already.
Oh, like little buttons.
Yeah,
You
it's
can
like,
push a
so
button that says
when it's
yes or
talking,
no.
yeah. So when you're talking to it, like Alexa,
Or like a Ouija board
and it's
where
like,
it only has the options to do like letters.
no, I'm literally mean like it's Alexa.
Oh.
So it's making that noise, but you're like hello, and it's like, what do you want? It's just recordings. Like, you ever have talked to your Siri?
Yeah.
What do you want? Like, ask Siri and then say like, I want
Right.
to talk. I
Right.
don't fucking. Well, what do you mean I want to talk? I don't know. I just
Right.
want to talk to you.
Siri would be like, how can I
No.
help you? And I'll be like, can we talk? And Siri will be like, how can I help you? $1:00 in the morning.
Who goes to bed at 1 a.m.?
He probably just took a piss.
in his living room.
No, he's walking into his living room from the bathroom. Oh, he's probably gone to bed. You're right. He's turned all the lights
Oh
off.
shit! It's 1:00 in the morning.
Well,
all right, guys. Let's see. It's now 2.
2:30.
Clearly has no cat or dog.
Clear. Well, yeah, no pets at all. Otherwise, he would have seen his cat get the zoomies.
It is 3:03.
That's what time cats get zoomies.
You mean the time the paranormal?
Yes.
Oh,
They
something's
go
gonna happen.
crazy.
You know the crazy thing that just happened?
Something
just
clicked.
stopped.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say time stopped because it's been 3:03 for
Whoa!
a while.
The light bulb just like popped. Blew in the lamp in the corner of the room.
But that's not really like a weird thing.
It happens, but it's rare that you're gonna set up your camera literally
Like
that
the
night.
picture frame, that's Photoshop or Adobe Premiere, like right there. Like, but the light popping, like I don't know.
Ooh,
That's a little bit more.
that's creepy. Watch the full Chris Chambers documentary on Amazon. He literally opens it up on the documentary in front of you, and you can see like everything that happens after that next couple of days.
I like to think that some of that stuff is true, but on the same token, I know that like people made a ton of money with those type of movies because they're so freaking easy to do.
Oh yeah.
So like how much of that do you think is actually like real, and how much of that is actually like, fake? And it's just, I don't know. If you set up that kind of camera stuff and you actually genuinely think that you got like the haunted, I don't know. Do you post that or do you not? Like, what are your thoughts? And honestly, guys, let us know in the comment section below. Let's say if you actually did see something like this in your house,
Yeah.
are you going to post it all over the place?
Let us know.
Part of me feels like you wouldn't, because it's very private. And to say like, okay, our house is haunted, well, you're not selling it at that point. I'm gonna say like if you legitly saw a demon or a spirit and you got good photo evidence of it, to an extent, like I'm talking about photo evidence where it's like 50-50, it could go either way.
Yeah.
So people can think you're crazy or not.
Right.
But
Or
you-
hey, that's Photoshop.
But you
you didn't do
but
it.
you felt something like goosebumps, the whole shebang.
Mhm.
You saw something.
I felt goosebumps when I was watching that video.
Amityville Horror, great example, something like that.
Yeah.
Do you post that online on Facebook? Because guess what? You're probably gonna want to leave, and guess what you're doing to your property value? That shit's going down. What I think you do is you keep that stuff and then you leave, and it's funny how like no one hears about it for a while,
and then you post it after.
Then you come back to you that family like, oh yeah, no, it was totally haunted. Here's a photo evidence.
It's totally haunted, but
how long have you had this video for? Oh, like 10 years. But we were like, got out of town, got therapy. Then we decided to like undo it.
Right.
But I just don't feel like you'd be like posting that right then while you're living there. I don't know. Maybe that's me.
I don't think you post the exact location.
No, it's kind of like the Batman's like, hey guys, my house is haunted, blah, blah, blah. Well, I would like to thank Derek for coming over and helping me with like the paranormal stuff because you're just going to make yourself completely look crazy. You're going to kill your property value. And honestly, no one's going to be friends with you anymore. So I'm just saying.
You sound like you're speaking from experience, babe.
Yeah, maybe not. The things you'll never know about me. I don't know. It's just like with that paranormal stuff like that, those closed caption ones like that. I don't know. There's something that looks it's too clean. It's so weird how it's always two ends of the spectrum. It's one end for Bigfoot pictures.
I noticed that too. His house literally looks like no one lives there.
And his video editing was fantastic.
Yeah.
And so it's so weird. Like I was saying before, like Bigfoot, everyone has a Nikian phone from like 1960, can never take a good picture.
Yeah.
And then you have this guy who's like in like, 5K, completely
like
crispy,
3 years ago.
fantastic audio. Like everything looks great. And
Right.
it's like, why? It's never like in between.
No.
And that's what's so weird. Like even like, so a great example, guys, I'm actually researching a shark attack episode and you saw some of that footage. That's kind of more like what I feel like is real in the sense of like that footage was not bad, but it wasn't great because there's a trauma factor there where I thought, and guys, I'll try to show you some of this footage edited actually on the podcast episode that we do for it. But it's because in the moment, you're not going to be like completely calm and like hold this thing and framing it out.
Right. Yeah. You're going to be like shaking
because it's not that you're just shaking like because you're like trying to look at it. You're shaking because of in the moment, your heart's pumping, there's adrenaline there. So that makes sense. So that footage of that shark attack was pretty clean. The phone wise was pretty good, but he was trembling.
Right.
To me, it's like, yeah, if you saw a Sasquatch or something like that, or you were in a situation like that, the phone or whatever is going to be shaking unless you're on some kind of like gimbal mount.
I know.
And like, who the hell carries that around?
No.
So if you have a phone, yeah, there's going to be some shake to it because you're going to be you're terrified of whatever this is happening.
Sure.
Why is this getting back to this here? And it's just like when the quality is too good, it's almost like
not believable, not as believable. Yeah.
To me, it's just not as believable, especially if you can invest that much amount of money into like home security, which is fine. Some people do that, but I don't. And the fact that he doesn't have any animals, he doesn't have a cat or a dog.
I know.
And he's not married
it's
or dating.
strange.
It's just like, I don't know. It's too clean, I guess. I don't know. Maybe if his wife was in the background bitching about him for buying the fucking box and then some shit falls and then she yells at him like, why'd you move the goddamn picture? And it's like, Marge, I didn't do it. It was a ghost. And then the light bulb like pops and she would go to the refrigerator and she's like, motherfucking Jeff, why'd you buy the goddamn box? Got a goddamn ghost in here. Then it's like, it's more believable. There's a little banter there. I don't know. But him just being like alone and sad, just like, I just want to talk. I'm very lonely. It's like, that's like, oh man.
Can I talk to you? No.
And it's just like,
oh, why not? Can I talk to you?
You're very sad. We decided that like, yeah, listen, no, it's not worth it for you. You're already in hell. Look at your house and those pillows. That's a cry for help. No man buys those types of throw pillows for his couch unless he's very sad.
His mom probably bought them for him.
And we'll see you guys next time on Spirits and Ghost Stories.
Bye.
Bye.